Good evening and welcome to Poland Daily. I'm Nicholas Richardson and this is the news. This year marks the 20th anniversary of Poland's accession to NATO. The Supreme Commander of the Polish Army, the President of Poland, Andrzej Duda, met the Army's senior officers to discuss the state of combat readiness of the troops.
The aim of the briefing was to define the direction of activity for the coming months and to provide a wrap-up of the implementation of last year's targets. We secured sufficient funding, created an effective system of command, increased the number of soldiers and filled in the blanks in terms of modernizing the armed forces. We also took care of limiting the dangers in terms of cybersecurity, and we kept good relations with our key allies. The Minister of National Defense stressed his decision to form a 4th Heavy Infantry Division and to establish the Cybernetic Defense Forces. Their formation is the goal for this year. The creation of a new functional mechanized infantry division will be our priority this year. We will also aim to form territorial army divisions as well as ones connected with cybersecurity. The fact that the mistake of the previous government to dissolve the 1st Mechanized Division in Legionowo has been revoked is a good thing. Considering the strides that Russia is making, developing measures of preserving cybersecurity is also a good move looking forward. Last year, key arms delivery contracts were signed. The most important purchase is the Patriot missile defense system and the HIMARS missile artillery. Recently, Polish authorities decided to bid for 32 new generation fighters that are included in the Harpia weapon program. There are many needs. T-72 tanks must be replaced and a new infantry fighting vehicle must be bought. The question is whether there will be enough for everything. In principle, the President and the Minister speak with one voice. There is one exception. Current regulations assume increased defense spending so that it reaches 3.5% of GDP in 2030. The President would like spending to grow more quickly. Considering the current plan of technological modernization of the armed forces, I uphold my postulate to reach the 2.5 threshold by 2024. I hope this will be possible. The executive briefing of the Ministry of National Defense and the Armed Forces is part of the NATO Week celebrations organized on the occasion of the 20th anniversary of Poland's accession to the North Atlantic Alliance. As part of the NATO Week, the President had a number of visits scheduled. In the afternoon, he met with NATO Secretary-General Jens Stoltenberg.
To mark the centenary of Polish independence, new passports have since last year contained a new symbol and the motto God, Honour and Fatherland. The Human Rights Ombudsman has received more than 1,500 complaints from those who say they don't believe in God and that their freedom of conscience has been breached. The Human Rights Ombudsman has decided to take the matter up with the Ministry of the Interior on the grounds that the religious impartiality of the state is being breached.
Od listopada zeszłego roku obywatelom Polski są wydawane nowe paszporty.
Since November last year, to mark the 100th anniversary of Polish independence, new Polish passports have been printed with the words God, Honor and Fatherland, which turns out not everyone appreciates. According to the spokesman for the Human Rights Ombudsman, more than 1,500 atheists have complained that they do not want God present in their passports. Adam Bodnar has decided to respond to this appeal and turned to the head of the Interior Ministry, Joachim Brudziński, to make changes to the new passports.
By ten rozważył zmianę nowego wzoru dokumentu.
Zdaniem obywateli, zdaniem naszych skarżących.
From the point of view of the ombudsman and our complainants, this form of the document breaches freedom of conscience, so we have decided that it infringes the religious impartiality of the state. With regards to the fact that the motto was placed close to the passport photo in such a way that you could identify the person with the motto, and also because up to this moment passports didn't have this motto, and this document should have a technical character, we have decided to apply to the Ministry of Internal Affairs and Administration for him to look at and consider the legitimacy of the motto being included in this form. There should have been some consultation. People were surprised that such passports materialized without any consultation. I don't have any remarks to make because I'm not comfortable with it. Certainly not everybody was comfortable with that wording, with those values, but But there are people who are also very radical, so perhaps we could think about whether passports could come in two versions, and those who really don't want these words could have another version. It is a trio of the Polish national tradition, Polish culture and Polish heritage, which is, no doubt, derived from Christianity. From this point of view, even by non-believers, it should be treated as an element of this great heritage in which we had persons of different religions or who were non-believers. This was commonly accepted.
Hasło Bóg, honor i ojczyzna.
God, honor and fatherland is not the only new feature of the Polish passport. The document also presents an old Polish eagle of the Second Polish Republic, an image of the Virtuti Militari cross and of the tomb of the unknown soldier, which has the words honor and fatherland on its ironworks.
10 weeks from now, the voters of the European Union will go to the polls to choose a new European Parliament. These elections used to generate little excitement, but it's different this year. All the political parties in Poland see these elections as a major test before this autumn's general election.
The latest poll made by Ibris shows the ruling Law and Justice Party sports only a 1% advantage over the opposition bloc European Coalition. Liberal politician Robert Biedroń's party Spring reaches 6% support, while the Cookies 15 movement has 5%. Below the threshold is the fast-rising far-right Confederation, a pro-Polish coalition party. Despite the latest poll results, Confederation still has a chance to cut some support from the Law and Justice Party and Cookies 15 movement.
Obviously, every new political party can gain support here and there, but in my opinion, there are too many differences between the parties in that coalition, such as the approach to the EU. Moreover, I think they had too many chiefs and too few Native Americans.
In turn, MPs of the Civic Platform expect that such a small difference in the polls will soon tilt in favor of the European coalition and bring the party to the leading position.
A year ago, these corridors witnessed the Law and Justice politicians who said things like, "We have no one to lose against, we will rule this country for multiple terms." Yet, after 1 year and many scandals such as KNF and Kaczyński's tapes, the list is a really long one and the situation is completely changed. It looks as though the Law and Justice Party not only has a decent competitor, but they might lose.
Jacek Wilk says the real alternative for Law and Justice Party is the Confederation Party.
Polls show that we will take a large part of the Law and Justice voters. There are polls in which we have above the threshold of 5%. I think that we will definitely enter the European Parliament, and of course we will receive part of the votes from PiS, people who voted for peace and tired of scandals and filling posts and are looking for an alternative on the right.
The election to the European Parliament will take place on May 26, and until that time much can happen. Politicians explicitly call this election the first round in the final clash with the Parliament and the Senate.
The Retirement Pension Plus programme is not a free gift, but a fight to give pensioners a good life, the Prime Minister of Poland, Mateusz Morawiecki, said today. He announced that the so-called 13th pension will come into force on May the 1st. Nearly 10 million pensioners will benefit from this programme.
Who will benefit from this program? Retirees and pensioners of the common insurance system, farmers, those who receive bridging pensions, teachers' compensational benefits, allowances, social pensions, family pensions, disability pensions, and war pensions. Nearly 10 million people are entitled to this benefit in 1,100 zlotys. All of these people will receive this benefit without having to ask for it. The project will come into force on May 1st.
This is a fight to give pensioners a good life. This is not some kind of a free distribution. We want this money in a fight with VAT tax mafias, and we are giving it away to the society, to young people by lowering the personal income tax, the 500+ program for families, and the 13th pension for pensioners. Some people call it a gift. I don't like this word. Me, this is showing respect and gratitude to pensioners who really worked hard for their entire lives. They lived in the times of the Polish People's Republic. They have small pensions, and all this has to be changed. There wasn't anything like that, like the 13th pension, at the time of the Civic Platform Party's term of office.
A 23-year-old woman and her 3-year-old daughter were kidnapped in the city of Białystok in northeastern Poland in broad daylight shortly after 10 a.m. by 2 masked men. The great-grandmother of the child witnessed the incident from her apartment window and immediately called the police. A wide search and investigation is being conducted by various government agencies. We have this from the police spokesman.
sprawie został uruchomiony.
This matter has triggered the application of a special force procedure Child Alert, which has only been used 3 times since its creation in 2013. This procedure is in place when a minor is involved and we have probable cause that the person is being forcibly detained, which would be a criminal offence. The Child Alert is initiated by local police with the approval of the national headquarters. The procedure triggers a chain reaction of the flow of information from the police to various government agencies, media outlets and some operators of electronic billboards. All the information we have points to this being a kidnapping. 2 men got out of a van in ski masks, pushed the mother and her daughter into the vehicle and sped away. We found the van a few blocks away in a remote area between 3 standing garages. We have some clues as to what happened next, but due to the pending investigation and the fact that the kidnappers are still at large, I am not authorized to share this with you. I can only say that the detailed information was shared with all police units in Poland in a matter of minutes.
My prowadzimy dalsze czynności poszukiwawcze.
That's it from the news. Thank you for watching. Do stay with us for the weather, business and more besides. But from me it's have a good night and a better tomorrow.